And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back and happy Seer Saturday. And hard to believe that it's officially the end of the month. Like, it just... Honestly, this month just passed by so quickly. It really did. But, yeah, really hard to believe. Still kind of processing it in a way. But, you know what? Sometimes it's how time flies. Anyway, pardon me for a bit of a slow intro today. I really had an intention to start more so around the early afternoon. But I think it was just between the exhaustion this week, and also I've recently caught up with Shonix's playthrough of Danganronpa. Shout out to Shonix, if anybody is curious about her. She's a YouTuber who also does some rap tracks as well. She just released the 5th chapter of Danganronpa, and I was like, gosh, I gotta see this. I gotta see this through to the end. And V3. Long story short, very interesting game. Chapter 5's trial certainly is very, very, very challenging to get through. Had to pull out a few tissues through this one, let me tell you, but totally worth the wait. I have no idea about any spoilers of V3, so please do me a favor and don't tell me what's happening towards the end, but I'm finding a few things rather suspicious. I won't get into it in case I accidentally spoil something, but there's one part that, let's be for real, I enjoy it very much, as I'm a very big media nerd, as I reference stuff like that all the time, and this game definitely falls down that alley. However, the number of times it has happened in that game makes me feel very suspicious. For those who have played V3, if you know, you know. But for those who, like myself, haven't, don't spoil it, okay? Don't spoil it. Okay. But anyway, I know. Kind of a ridiculous reason why I'm late, but, yeah. I needed to come down a little bit from that chapter, because, whoo-wee! That was intense. Intense AF. Anyway, today we're going to start a little bit differently this time. I feel like we could use a little bit of centering, especially since we just started Mercury Retrograde, or Mercury Gatorade, or Mercury, whatever you want to call this retrograde. It started this week, and I'm sure a lot of us have been feeling it. I certainly have, even though I was born on a retrograde. I feel like as if my speech makes more sense during this time, ironically enough. But yeah, where most people get frustrated during the retrograde period, I feel that way the majority of the year. Let me tell you, it's annoying. So I feel like Mercury retrograde is the one time it actually makes sense to people. Apparently, in recent years, my tech has not been immune to that, so... Had to be really careful with that. But yeah, I figured since we're about to go into a new month, we need a little bit of centering today. So I think I'm going to go through a little bit of a oof. Apologies hallucinating reality. But anyway, I figured, considering all this stuff is happening, and also apparently 6 of the outer planets are currently aligned. Well, 6 of the planets are aligned right now, in terms of, like, think Hercules. That's happening right now on top of that. And then I think also Wow, Momo, you are really on that streak. Shout out to you. At a 20 stream streak. Congratulations. But anyways, I think also the planets are supposed to be aligning. Think Hercules, the Disney movie. That phenomenon's happening right now too. We got like 6 of them aligned. I think the whole system's supposed to be aligned come this summer, I believe, or this fall. I forgot. Unfortunately, it was like very briefly mentioned during the conference I went to last weekend, so that's why I wasn't online through that entire time. So I hope y'all didn't mind. I took a little bit of a break, but I'm back here. Hello, Sleepy Incubus. But yeah, I figured today, considering all that is going on, and also we're in the thick of eclipse season, we're a few days from a Virgo full moon and lunar eclipse. Hello. I figured it would be a nice thing to start off with a little bit of centering, as well as a return of an old friend of mine, which you'll see in just a moment. But yeah, I figure a little bit of centering would be nice. So I'm going to pull out a couple of my sprays, wonderful sprays. Shout out to Gnostic Apothecary for selling these ones. These are some of the best smelling sprays I've come across in a very, very, very long time. And then we're also going to do a little bit of a sound clearing as well. And then it should help you center up for whatever readings you want to get tonight. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? So, gotta pull out my bell here, get a little nice sound centering. Hopefully my mic can capture it, because I do have some sound cancellation going on. Yeah. All right, let's all go ahead and take a little deep breath here. Listen up. Whether you're starting your day or in the middle of it or you're about to conclude, always nice to take a pause right here and now, right? I'm going to go ahead and mute that for 1 second and pause my playlist here so we can be nice and centered right here in this present moment. I welcome you into this space of knowledge, inner and outer, deep insight, that whatever cares and stresses that you have brought into this space, that you're able to put them down even for just a moment. If possible, maybe a little bit of a dissolution, a resolution. And whatever questions, concerns you have, may we begin to explore the possible answers that we may come across with the cards today. So I welcome our group Wisdom, with all the knowledge that we all naturally have and the knowledge that we may not have consciously known that we've had. I welcome it here in this space. I welcome here our intuition, the special pixie, fairy, magical dust that makes us be able to do amazing, miraculous things every single day. From the smallest moments to the biggest shifts in our lives. I welcome you here. I welcome the passions, the things that wake us up in the morning, the things that recharge us at night, and the things that keep us preoccupied, even with all the responsibilities that we've often had to do. The things that excite us, the whimsical, the purpose, the presence of just being here. I welcome it here in this space. I welcome the guidance, our spirit guides, people that we have in our lives, the living beings that we come across, the circumstances we find ourselves in, the books and articles we read, the light in which we can see. I welcome it here to guide us through this space. And finally, to the principal of Xenia, I welcome you. I welcome you to my table. Whatever creed you follow, whatever beliefs you have, whatever you bring forward, whatever your status, whether you know yourself very well or you're still learning, I welcome you here at my table. Welcome to the space, everybody. Ooh, that was pretty off the cuff. I think I could think of a few people. Yeah, that was pretty off the cuff. Hope y'all feel a lot better. I certainly do. That was really... I should do that more often. All right. Ding. But yeah, little final dash of centering. Hello, Vanna Not White. Gonna spray a couple of these sprays here to kind of settle things a little bit here in the home domain. First, we got this wonderful spray. Shout out to Gnostic Apothecary. It's called Desert Witch, which has witch hazel and some sage essential oil. Oh, Vanna Not White's been here before. Ooh, that smells amazing. Yeah, I think it's been a little bit though. I think it's been a couple months. And then this one, it's been sold as well by Gnostic Apothecary. But this one, it's one of the best Florida waters I have ever come across. This is made in Salisbury, Maryland, so a bit further down. So shout out to Blackwater Apothecary for making this, as well as, well, Gnostic Apothecary again for selling this to me. Oh, this smells amazing. Like, I wish y'all could smell this. Yes, it's Florida water. I believe this has like orange blossom and some lavender in here as well. So that's why it smells like it's less alcohol-y and more botanical. But then again, Florida water, I mean, Florida literally means flower, so it makes sense. Yeah. So I know, Florida, for us Americans, we think Florida as in the state down south. In this case, no, we are talking about the Spanish Florida, as in flower, because Florida also means flower. But yeah, it's very commonly used in spiritual practices, kind of similarly to holy water, where freshens up spaces, as well as it's really good for energetic purification. So, now you know! Yeah, I can't tell I'm watching, watching the Feng Shui guy. Anyway, happy to say, I think you probably already noticed, The camera is back. The camera is back. So I can actually show you the up close thing. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we got cameras. We got cameras now. So now we got this one over here and my face. But of course, ultimately, y'all can figure out which one you prefer. Which one you prefer, whether it's me showing it up here or me doing this way. Let me know what y'all prefer in Discord, because I would like to know. But yeah, I missed having the camera up front, so... Anyways, pulled out a couple of decks that I haven't used in a hot minute. So I got these Energy Oracle cards, and I also got the Earth Magic Oracle cards as well. Of course, we got our classic Queen Herbie deck, which I'm going to see her this summer, which I'm super excited about. And my beautiful, wonderful, handy-dandy Shadowscapes Tarot. Yeah, I've been feeling long overdue to get this camera going, so I figured why not today, make today the day. Alright, so for those who are on the Twitch side of things, here's what you're going to do. You're going to put an exclamation point and type join. And then you should be able to join in the queue. And then whatever order I happen to see you in, I should be able to see you on the list. Oh, hello. I am not seeing the notification. Give me 1 second. One moment, please. What happened to the queue? I know I didn't delete it. I know that for sure. I know I've kept it on. One moment, please. Yeah, Mercury Retro Shade, everybody. Twitch be twitching again. Yep. Twitch be twitching. Wee. Okay, we'll figure this out. But in the meantime, I see the order of people who've been wanting to jump in. So it looks like Momo jumped on first, then Hallucinating Reality, then Sleepy Incubus. So at least I got the first three memorized. Yeah, what's been going on? Mercury reprobate. Mercury agitate. Mercury retrospect. Oh man. But yeah, in case y'all were kind of freaking out, it's like, yeah, usually, what the heck? It's not enabled. That's weird. That is so weird. Okay, it's enabled now. Try it now. It wasn't enabled, which is weird. I do not remember at all turning it off. There we go. Okay, now we got it working. Thank you so much for your patience. All right. There we go. Now it's working. Thank you for your patience. So, Hallucinating Reality, go ahead and jump in again. I got the chatbot working. Hey. Here we go. There we go. Awesome. All right. Thank you, beautiful people. All right. So for those on Twitch, you got the players with the play with viewers panel. For those who are on the YouTube side of things, this is a simulcast. You can add your question in the chat and I will get to you. But obviously, Twitch will be coming first since that's like the more immediate thing that I can see. But yeah, I love Chill Hop. I also am a member with Lo-Fi Girl as well, though I will admit I have not gone through her playlists as frequently as I should. But I've got creative rights to both sites. So if at any point you want me to change it up a little bit and try Lo-Fi Girl, aka formerly Chilled Cow, let me know. I will totally experiment. Ooh, this is funky. I love this one. I'm gonna add that to my liked playlist. This is good. I like this one. Yep, add to favorites. Mm-mm. All right. So now that I got the space purified. Ooh, yeah, the 2017 and the 2018 ones in particular, they just hit different. Like, I used them a lot, like, when I was thick into grad school and college, and I was just so wound up. And back when I was a tech, I would use those songs as sound checks sometimes, because they were just so relaxing. Yeah, especially through 2020, it helped me through those really long study sessions where I had to read for a super long time. Like those times where I had to like buckle down and read for hours and hours and hours. Ooh-wee. Like, Chill Hop saved me. There was also the Simpsons, there was like the Simpsons Chill Hop kind of deal that we used to listen to. It was in particular like Homer, either in his like not Homer, Bart in his room or in the back of the car listening to music. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? My coworkers, who also happened to be my friends at the time, they would do a little bit of Chill Hop, a little bit of Metal Gear Solid music, and then they would play that track in the background. It was just like the three most soothing tracks you could ever see, like especially during Chill Coffee. That's it, yes. Oh my gosh, yeah, we would play that all the time, and it was so relaxing, especially like before you had to set up for like a super intense event. Good times. Oh my gosh. And then yeah, I played Chill Hop a lot and Lo-Fi Girl quite a bit when I had the super long study sessions, or I just want something a bit soothing in the background. Yes, Endless Sunday too. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm a chill hop fiend, so if you want some recommendations for playlists, let me know. I also am into vaporwave and future funk. Which, speaking of vaporwave, they recently started a live channel on YouTube. They just started one. But yeah, love me some vaporwave, love me some future funk. Love chill hop. I mean, I'm also a new Jawbase fan. Rest in peace. Ooh, I gotta check out that track later. Thank you for the recommendation. I might have heard it, but I just didn't know that was what it was called. But yeah, let's get a few messages for the collective real quick. I'm gonna try something a little different today. And then we'll go from there. Because I recently learned some stuff from Matt Oren, author of Psychic Witch. Really cool guy, by the way. That man is so entertaining. If you're lucky enough to like come across some lectures by him, go to them. He is entertaining and educational. Like, it actually got me to buy an audiobook of his book, too. So, the man knows what he's talking about. And he certainly kind of assuaged a lot of the concerns that I had. But yeah, so we got the Hermit and the Two of Pentacles. So, I'm feeling what we're having with this eclipse season and Mercury retrograde. Mercury aggravate. Yeah, we're probably gonna need like a Mercury retrograde counter of how many names we can come up with. Yeah, this is very much a call for you to start reflecting, looking inward, as well as a balance of finances, which, especially now, it's all too real with the situation, which I will talk about in a little bit. But I'm also noticing the monkey in the bottom of the Two of Pentacles. That's the interesting. This is what I love about this deck. For Shadowscapes, in particular, Stephanie Pui-Moon Law's art, is that she puts in stuff that makes you look deeper and not get as linear about the cards. So you could still like go by the Rider-Waite, but you could still go a little bit above and beyond it. And the monkey's standing out to me. And I don't think it's because, I mean, it's probably not only because, well, me personally, I was born in the year of the monkey. So Year of the Fire Horse is going to be interesting to me. But also, I'm thinking of the track, the famous copyright-free Kevin MacLeod track, Monkey Spinning Around. That track. Hello, Shiva Lim. Hey, fellow monkey! Alright. But yeah, I'm feeling like Year of the Monkey, Monkey Spinning Around, and Monkey Mind. That's interesting. So I believe I'm Water Monkey. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, I'm feeling Monkey Spinning Around, so like if you're... Oh, you're Wood, okay. I'll double check mine. Okay, I was right. So I am Water. Sweet. Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking like Monkey Mind. So if you've been feeling like as if you've been feeling off kilter, especially this week with all of the astrological stuff going on, bruh, our imperial years are coming in 2 years. Can you believe that? Our imperial's coming in 2 years. Oh, ads? Shoot. Uh-oh, and it is a 2-minute one. But for those who are not subbed, apologies. But for those who are still online, thank you so much for entertaining me for a little bit. So this could be a time to like reflect on what's going on here. But yeah, huge apologies for not catching that in time. But I'll get back in the swing of things in a moment, for sure. But yeah, I don't usually pay attention to like animals like all of a sudden over here. But for some reason, I thought about the monkey. Whether it's Year of the Monkey, I'm personally Year of the Monkey, or Monkey Mind in particular. For those on YouTube, if you've been feeling very off kilter, take some time to do some introspection and meditate and looking inward. And to start trusting your inner GPS again, okay? Start tapping back into your inner guidance system. Alright, so my Twitch peeps will be back in a minute, but I just thought of that. We'll get going. Stay tuned, everybody. Whew, excuse me. Oop, keep on knocking it. Okay, so we are back according to my Twitch counter. Thank you so much. But anyway, quite a message I'm getting from these two cards. Long story short, if you've been feeling very distracted lately or all over the place, take some time to center yourself, schedule a little bit of introspection, and especially, this is one thing I've learned from Matt Oren as well, take some time to get to know your inner GPS, your intuition, how your mind works, etc. And this is especially important for my neurodivergent peeps. 3 things that he recommend. 3 things he recommended. Meh. Hold on. I can remember this. I wrote it down. 3 things he recommended: meditation, therapy, and journaling. I also had a 4th one: relaxation. Knowing what it's like when you're in a space where you can just be yourself fully without feeling as if you have to like put on so many masks or walking around eggshells. Huge difference. I got a chance to practice that during this convention, and it was wonderful. So take some time to do that. Find more spaces where you can get to know what it's like to feel centered. It'll make it easier to achieve that centeredness, that centered feeling. Okay? I feel like that message was as much for me, too, as it was for you as well. So, kind of funny. Anyways. And also, oh yeah, there's also a free game on Epic Games. It's called Go Ape Ship. It's like a multiplayer game. I unfortunately can't play it at this time because I don't have a Windows computer just yet, but I did buy the game anyway, so that way eventually when I do get the right computer to do that, I can at least be able to, I'll have it like ready to go. Positive. It's the T is a P. There's a multiplayer game called that. It just went free on Epic. So look it up. Plus, I mean, it's an E10 game as well, so I don't think it would be able to use the T in the title. Then again, we have Ratchet and Clank. Ah, okay. Anyway, let's go ahead with Starry Momo. Shout out to Starry Momo. They do some really interesting astrology readings. I might ask for another one for a different reason pretty soon. So watch out, you got a regular. Anyway, Momo, go ahead and ask your questions, whether it's on my Twitch or on my Discord, which, speaking of, I should open that up. Okay. I think I should have it on here. Where are you? Yeah. Now, it feels like even, like, physical, it's not guaranteed anymore, because they've been doing a lot more keys than they are actual installments. So keys rather than actual, like, copies. Alright, let me move this to the right. Can I move you here? Okay. So, anyway, if you go to the Tarot Qs and Qs part of Twitch, sorry, not Twitch, of Discord, I can see your question there. Otherwise, you can just add yourself into the chat. Alright. There we go. Got it. Nice. Nice. Good thing you made sure that was the case. Awesome. Surgery. Wanted to know if your planned break would be sufficient, or should you shorten the break? I mean, from a practical standpoint, I'd say go as long as you can. As long as you can afford. And also pay attention to how you feel. That's from a practical standpoint. But yeah, depending on how long... Let's see what advice... I mean, let me preface this. I'm not a medical professional. I happen to work for a medical company, but I'm not a medical professional by any extent. So please do not look at this as a substitution for medical advice. That being said, I can at least give you a little bit of suggestions as to how you could navigate the decision of how you can determine whether or not the break's enough. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of a legal purpose that I have to suggest that, but then also it's really just it's a little bit of an advisory. Hey people, this is not what I typically do, so heads up. Feel this one. That being said, that's gonna do it. All right, these ones flew out. All right. Yeah, I agree with being confused. Basically, just take as long as you need to and go from there. So, Two of Pentacles. Oh, got a lot of cups here. We'll get to those in a moment. The Two of Pentacles. I'm feeling immediately like you need, like, the biggest thing you need to pay attention to with this break is the balance between recovery and resources, but especially when it comes to energy to be able to balance it all. That's the thing that's immediately coming to mind. Let me see. I'm trying this new time period thing. Let's see what else this says. I need the minors. There we go. Yeah, not following this. Okay. But, yeah, anyway. I'm feeling like the biggest thing you need to pay attention to when you're taking the break is to pay attention to how you're balancing your recovery with your other responsibilities or the things that you're caring about. So that's immediately will determine whether or not that it's taking long enough. So it's taking about a week, which, I mean, I feel like it's a good start in terms of taking a break from streaming. But I think the focus also is, I mean, if streaming is your sole source, if streaming your sole source, it shouldn't be too bad. But if you're balancing it with other forms of, like, work or income, I would say if you needed to take a longer break in terms of that, maybe put it take the break time towards the more rigorous work that you're doing. that's the part that I'm getting first. Let's see what else we got here. Aha! Hanged Man. So, part of it is also kind of, you're probably just not gonna know the extent until you get your surgical instructions and really just how you feel throughout it. And part of it really is just surrender. Surrender the outcome. Like, however much energy you're going to have is however much energy you're going to have. Case in point, I went through my final wisdom tooth surgery. I thought it was going to take me a while. Like, I mean, like, a while to recover, since, like, the last couple I had, because I couldn't afford to do all 4 at once back in the day. I thought it was going to take a while for me to recover, because, like, the bottom ones especially took a while for me to recover. And then, but then surprisingly, within 48 to 72 hours of getting the top ones removed, the recovery actually happened a lot faster than I expected. Like, I managed to actually get back to streaming within 3 or 4 days after surgery. Now, granted, streaming is not exactly the most rigorous thing in the world, at least to me, depending on what you're doing. But that was what kind of surprised me, was like how much quicker the recovery for me actually occurred. So I think ultimately you just got to pay attention to what your body is saying and how your energy behaves and how rigorously you go. Because, like, if it's going towards, like, any heavy lifting or discomfort in a certain position for a long time, yeah, you might want to go a little longer. But for the most part, just pay attention. Pay attention to what you're feeling and look at it from a different perspective. Sometimes it's not necessarily about the length, because some people could go for a long time resting, but then not focus so much on the quality of said rest. So I think a different perspective you might want to take is not only the duration of the rest, but what quality of rest are you trying to achieve during this period. That's one thing you may need to keep in mind as you go with this. Okay, so we got the full here. I mean, your body is recovering, and you're going to go through a new mode of getting to know what it's going to do with this surgery. So that's another thing that you should keep in mind as you go with your recovery, is how you're going to feel. Most of the time, you feel better after a surgery or a procedure. I mean, granted, you still have the pain and the bandages and all that kind of stuff you got to recover from, but for the most part, whatever problem you had prior to the surgery, it's going to be resolved afterwards. So, another thing you should probably focus on is getting to know this new body that you have. Even if it's something routine or minor, gotta get to know it. Gotta get to know this body. What its likes and dislikes are, what it wants, what it needs, etc. Pay attention to that. And what else we got? Queen of Cups. So, emotional control. The emotional element. I'm flipping over this one too. Okay, 5 of Cups. Okay. So, I think these two are two sides of the same coin here, where there's a call for inner focus during this recovery period, but not to the point of navel gazing per se. And allow yourself to feel the grief and feel the elemental shift within yourself now that you have gone through this procedure. So, long story short, not the best at like timeline stuff, but the biggest thing that I can really say is it takes as long as it takes, especially with something like surgery. So, start off with that week, see how you feel, and lean more towards going a little longer than you have to. So that way you find like, oh, I'm actually fine, then congrats, bonus time off. But if you jump in too soon, you find like, gosh, I need to do it one more day, and then you lost more time, and maybe you hurt yourself in the process. I mean, long story short, it's basically just calling you to like watch your emotions, especially if it's the kind of thing that causes you to feel down or grief afterwards. Be really gentle with yourself. Like, focus more on the quality of the recovery, not how long it takes. Because if you focus on the quality of the recovery, you're probably going to be fine a lot faster than you think you are. But especially if it's a kind of thoracic surgery in particular, you may feel functional not long afterwards, but give it at least a year or two for you to finally feel normal, I say. I mean, since it's like the beginning of the year, you might feel more normal come the holidays. That's my feeling. But anyway, long story short, it's going to take as long as it takes. Give yourself the most luxurious filled week you could possibly give yourself and see what happens. And go from there. Hopefully that answers your question. How is it already like almost an hour? Holy smokes. I can blab. Then again, I did take a while with settling down in the beginning, but hey. But yeah, sorry Momo. Hope you feel better hope your surgery goes really, really well. Make sure you get plenty of rest. Drink plenty of water. You've been telling me that as much. Yeah. Hope that helps. Okay. So, yeah, I say start with the week. I think a week's a good place to start and then see how you feel. Got you. Yeah, if anything, you should up them because, I mean, your chart readings made me think about things that I honestly wouldn't have considered. I mean, it seriously made me think. Anyways, Sleepy Incubus, you are next up. We're going to take a little bit of an ad break for those on Twitch, and it will give you some time to meditate on your question, Sleepy Incubus. So take your time, post it in the chat or in Discord whenever you are ready. We will be back. Just want to get rid of the ad before it starts interrupting mid-reading. Okay, thanks so much for your patience. Wanted to get a little bit of a refill of water before I continued. Okay, so you really hear from your friend in March. Hmm. Okay, well, I see. I see. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Introspection is very important, especially when you're recovering from a surgery. Like, even a small one sometimes can be so life altering. Like, wisdom teeth is so routine for a lot of people, and yet it made me look at everything so differently. Man, it was just a real mind mind break, so to speak. But anyway, so for Sleepy Incubus, will you really hear from your friend in March because you got a very negative reading that you'd never hear from them again, and you would become a narcissist or something, and it felt off. I see. So I guess to understand, like, they're. Oof, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, Sleepy Incubus. Youch. Hello, Sugar Plums. Hello, darling. But yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, bud. I mean, especially when you lose touch with a friend. That's not easy. Good. If it didn't feel right to you, you do not have to claim it. I mean, there are some difficult things that you're gonna have that we often have to navigate when it comes to these readings. There are some things where you're gonna have a hard time hearing it. If you want to, if you feel comfortable doing that, you're welcome to. But ultimately, it's down to your discretion. But yeah, like, there's some things in tarot you're gonna have to find out. There's some things in tarot that you do have you're gonna have to find out pretty much in a difficult manner sometimes, or with some discretion. But there's a method of delivery that should be done where it's more empowering. Oh, I see. Oh, you like this one? Oh yeah, I've heard this one quite a bit too. I remember this one now. This one's called "I Wish You Would Never Stop Snowing" by Sleepy Fish. This is a good one. Ah, I see. And I'm presuming that this is a little bit of a presumption, but I guess maybe this family has not exactly been supportive in some ways, because that could certainly affect communication. Hmm. I see. Yeah, that would make things difficult, wouldn't it? Yeah, we'll figure out something. I mean, timelines I can never guarantee. I see. Um, yeah, I think the ones that I tend to listen to the most in terms of chill hop are Psalm Trees and Byrocratic. Byrocratic I use a lot in my vlogs. My offline vlogs, that is. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oof. Oh, man. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, let's see what we got here. If anything we can actually tell you in terms of ways you can navigate this. But already we got the Wheel of Fortune. So whenever I see the Wheel of Fortune, I often see it as like a this too shall pass kind of card. So while I may not be the greatest in terms of my timeline, what I can tell you is this situation will eventually pass. And according to like this piece of paper that I found from this like timeline thing that I found from Joy Vernon, Wheel of Fortune, in terms of timelines, usually predicts as no timing or things are up in the air and need to settle. So there's clearly something that needs to be settled here for him to make it easier to communicate. So it could be coming this March. It could be sometime this spring. It could be happening a lot sooner than you think. You never know. But yeah, this is signaling to me that like whatever situation that he is going through at this time, it may come to pass before you know it. Just at this point right now, the best thing you can do at this point is keeping the channel open. And especially practicing your Spanish would be really helpful. That's especially going to be helpful there. Even if it's just basic stuff. I certainly need to practice my Spanish a bit more. And then let me see what the other stuff we got here. So we got the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups. So we got a lot of threes here. Let's see. I mean, I'm feeling you'll be able to get in touch with him pretty soon. Three of Wands, I'm looking at... There might be an introspection period going on for him at this time. And then Three of Cups, I look at it as the celebration card, where I'm feeling a reunion's on the horizon. I can't say when, but it looks like as soon as the dust clears. Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Great, thanks. And you? Very casually. Hey, I often use usted for those who are older than me. Or multiple people. A little bit left over from Japanese, but anyway. Yeah, I know a little bit of Spanish. Not that fluent, but I know a little bit. Yeah, it could. It could also indicate March. It literally could. Because, I mean, the threes happened twice. So it could be leaning towards March. I can't specify when in March, but it might be singling March. And again, interestingly, Three of Wands in particular indicates March 31st or April 10th to April 10th, so around that span of time. But again, I'm thinking it's saying whatever he needs to settle, it will settle. And then after the settling, you should hear something rather soon. I'm feeling you're gonna get something rather soon. It's gonna be a wonderful reunion. Especially if you two have a mutual friend that kind of meets in the middle, especially that might be the way that connects as well. Because I mean, I'm seeing the power of 3. I see. But yeah, I'm seeing 3 people in this one, and then, well, there's 3 wands here. But yeah, the 3s could indicate March. I'm also feeling like if there's like a bridge person, like if you have like a friend, like a second friend in the middle between you two, like kind of looking as like an emissary of some sort, that may be your other way of getting back in touch with him, for all you know. But for right now, I think your best focus is to make sure you keep the channel of connection open. Be prepared for a dramatically different perspective. Maybe if you happen to have any idea about who his partner is, that could be another bridge. Another thing that I'm getting is exploration, because I know 3 of Wands usually trends towards exploration. So I say explore what mutual connections you two have and see what happens. But yeah, I don't see anything bad, Sleepy Incubus. I really hope this works out for you. But yeah, everything I'm seeing is, I think this is gonna it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. But I think there's something that he needs to settle first before he's able to reach out to you. That's what I'm seeing anyway. I hope that helps. I know it's not the most solid, but like when it comes to like third party stuff especially, it's a little difficult. But the thing that I can tell from what I've pulled is that he clearly wants to see you again. Like that's what I'm feeling from this. Of course, I could be completely off base because that is a third party presumption I'm making, and I don't want to introduce false hope, but at the same time, though, I'm not seeing anything indicating otherwise that he doesn't want to talk with you. I think clearly he does. I think there's just something that there might be some introspection that he might need to do, or it's just something that he needs to explore before he's able to reach out again. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know it's not the most perfect, but okay. But yeah, yeah, thanks for tuning in, Sleeping Incubus. I hope that answered your question. So, hallucinating reality is next. I'm going to start another ad break, so that way we don't get anything happening in between readings, and then we will continue on. So, stay tuned, everybody. So, while you're doing that, put your question in the chat or in Discord. And for my YouTubers, thank you so much. We got one question. Don't worry, Shiva Lim. I did get your question. So after I get through a couple more of my wonderful Twitch peeps, we will get to you. Thank you for your patience. Gotta freshen up the atmosphere for a hot minute. Thank you, Hallucinating Reality, for letting me know when the ad's done. Okay, so I got your question. So, might be an Akashic question, but wondering what your soul's carrying from previous lifetimes and is wanting to be here for. I feel like everything takes superhuman amount of effort in this one, as I tend to have to tread the path of an outsider. And that one, my dear, I totally relate to that question. Totally relatable. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on here. Let's see what are one of the reasons why your soul has decided to incarnate as a human in this plane. And I'm feeling some oracle. Yeah, I don't know why. Your questions always seem to tap into whatever's going on in my life at this point. So also, your questions are always entertaining too. I appreciate you. That being said, for people who are new to me, there is no such thing as a bad question. There is such thing though as limits to what tools tend to do and what my abilities tend to be. Because I mean, ultimately, we are human vessels. We're going to have our biases. We're going to have our flaws. So whether it's a good reading or a bad reading or anything in between, because I mean, I don't really think it's like there's such thing as a good or bad unless there's just some just not very skillful means at it. What I tend to focus on at the end of the day is whether or not you have some, just bad reader. Sometimes the reader doesn't fit you. And I've heard some pretty interesting stories about that over this last convention that I went to as well. Shout out to Matt Oren. He worked in Salem, Massachusetts for a good while. He used to be a professional reader, and came across this one person who went to this one reader who was pretty well known in the Salem area, went to this one pretty regularly, but the readings were always off whenever she went to this person. And it turned out it's because at the time, the reader in question was going through a situation similar to what the person was asking about, but because of her adverse experience and she couldn't exactly detach from that experience, it affected the quality of the reading that she was delivering on those experiences. And as a result, long story short, it basically brought her back to a not a very healthy relationship situation. So, long story short, ultimately, we're human vessels. We're going to be off on some things. For all I know, I could be off on the one situation that I'm describing, or for all I know, I could be on point and it's just me overthinking it. My friend Evelyn Rose, shout out to her. She went to this convention with me. She thinks it's the latter, that I'm just overthinking my readings a lot of the time, which she's not wrong. I am an intellectual, first and foremost. But also, I've really had to combat a lot of self-doubt. So this confidence that I've been feeling recently is very, very, very hard won, I will say. Yeah, thanks, Sugar Plums. Like, your support really, like, you guys' support really means a lot to me. The fact that you guys come back, like, even Shiva Lim, I know it's been a while since I've read for you. The fact that you've tuned in for so long, I really appreciate you guys. Like, I've only been doing this for... Next month, we make it 6 months, but we're going up to the 5-month mark now. The fact that, like, so many people have tuned in every Saturday, with the exception of last week, I appreciate you. Oh my gosh, that's funny. That is so funny. Out of curiosity, do you read your own cards, Hallucinating Reality? I know Momo does. I know Yoda. I know Hyun does as well. But do you do your own readings too, Hallucinating Reality? Out of curiosity? Ooh, got some interesting ones here. Okay. Not a fan of it. Okay, understandable. Yeah, for some people, like, also it's also down to like what they attune to sometimes. Like for me, cartomancy really spoke to me. Like it really spoke to me so strongly. I love it so much. I explore other mediums like the Clow and the Sakura cards. I'm gonna get the clear cards eventually now that the whole thing's completed. And runes a little bit. But yeah, tarot. I always seem to come back to it every time. It's fascinating. Yeah. But there are ways to get around that. The biggest thing, like this is what Matt Oren taught me through this. I only had him for one class. Yeah, now the anime needs to be completed. I 100% agree. But yeah, the thing that Matt Oren has taught me is if you tend to be very cerebral during your readings, find ways that you can relax into the situation that you're pulling for. For me, my tendency is I tend to shuffle until my mind starts to turn the critical volume down a little bit, and then I spread it across the table. And then I use usually my non-dominant hand to like sense a temperature change or a magnetism towards a card, so that way I can kind of calm like the critical mind down a little bit to like tell myself, okay, I've truly randomized the cards. I'm not talking out of my keister here. Yeah, bruh, like, I'm so tired. Like America is especially heinous about this. Yes, I am. Add yourself to the queue. I will get to you. Thank you so much for banning out white. But yeah, that's the tip that I often give. It's like, get yourself like maybe like a... I didn't realize that was what I was actually doing until Matt Oren broke it down for me. That was precisely what I was doing this entire time, which was I was basically taking off the critical mind and then putting it towards the focus on the cards. And then the Rider-Waite Smith is a really good deck. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the biggest thing is to be very gentle with yourself, and also, again, like you said, get to know what your how your energetic and mental system works. And if you have those down days, which I've got them, even though I've been pretty on point for most of these streams, take it easy. Take it easy on yourself. Like, I've been critical of myself recently for taking so long to pull these cards sometimes, but sometimes you need the quality time. So yeah, even if it's just like listening to good music, like this chill hop, great way. But yeah, let's see with all this being said, I mean, especially in a show context like Twitch, it's a complicated balance between, I wouldn't call this entertainment, so to speak, but it is precisely what it is. Spiritual entertainment, and also trying to keep yourself tapped into the radio station that is the universe and your intuition. Yeah, not easy. So kudos to you. Kudos to all the tarot readers, especially ones who read for themselves, because that's not easy. I get that. I totally get that. It took me a long time to get to this point. Alright, so without further ado, hallucinating reality, here's some Akashic hints. These kinds of readings I'm really enjoying. Yeah, the Chariot. The Chariot. Often when I come across this version of the Chariot, I often think about it in terms of the sign of Cancer. I always seem to always pay attention to the crab on the bottom and less on the unicorns up top, even though the unicorns are a pretty significant mystical symbol. I feel like, in terms of past life references, I'm feeling like there's this sense of wanting to feel triumphant over obstacles. Because, I feel like there's this thirst of wanting to feel what the energy of, the person on the chariot feels like. And that's why there's this reincarnation that keeps happening. That's what I'm feeling from this card. That's one hint. Then again, it's just this open-chested, expanded feeling. Not to the point of the Fool where it's reckless abandon, but more so this open expandedness when you feel in control of the reins. Which I know, especially with what you described, there's a sense of feeling very out of control with your circumstances, but there's this feeling of wanting to take the reins that I'm getting from what I pulled here so far. Let's see what else we can find. Chariot usually means victory. Okay, and then we got the Four of Wands here. And Four of Wands is also another sense of victory as well. Like a sense of, of drive and command over your passions. And being able to work towards the goals and the passions that you have set out to do. And I find it interesting as well is here we're having another unicorn-like creature, though I feel like this one feels like a mix of a lion and an antelope a little bit, as well as a unicorn. But it's kind of interesting that unicorns are popping up twice here, unicorn symbolism, because unicorns are a symbol for magic, typically, or a magical energy. Oh, you're Ashwini rising. Okay, that makes sense. And considering it's the year of the fire horse, I think you might need to check your horoscope for this year, because you might be turning upwards some things. Yeah, according to the book as well, Four of Wands often also means initial successes, joy, and peace, as well as celebration. And also the maintenance. So yeah, two twin horses. And then another 2 horses here. So you got 2, 4, 6 horses. Or 6 horse-like creatures in this orbit here. So, yeah, that's fascinating. And, yeah, might be a good time to check horoscopes. Maybe Momo can help you out on that front. Though, I don't think they do Vedic. They do regular Western astrology. I don't think he does. But yeah, I'm feeling this sense of you want to feel triumphant in something. And then, let's see, Page of Cups. So, Page of Cups, I'm feeling there's also a call for you to tap into your emotions and your intuition a lot more. Which reminds me, much better. Okay, where was I? Mmm. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Also, you gotta tell me who your astrology source is when it comes to what call it, when it comes to Vedic astrology, because I mean the only source I've got so far is Claire Nocti, and I need somebody who actually could like break it down for me a bit more. But yeah, um, tapping into your deep knowing and your intuition, that's the biggest call that I'm feeling at this time from what I've pulled here, because I'm starting to feel like, hmm, Barbara Pigeon. Thank you. I will take a look at that. But anyways, yeah, another thing that I've been feeling recently is I'm getting this sense that a theme that I've been catching is there's this kind of sense of like, in order to get to this victory, there's some sort of betrayal that you've had to do, like that, like maybe this that you felt you've had to do in the past, be it your own soul's betrayal or betrayal of something that you believed in. And I'm feeling that this reincarnation, especially with this Page of Cups here, it's a call for you to be able to experience the victory without the inner betrayal, to be able to pay attention to what your intuition says that you must do. Now, obviously, taking some time to learn, again, learning how your system works to refine that discernment, it's going to make it a lot easier. Um, which I know, especially like if you lean more towards the cerebral, it can get like going emotions first can be very scary, but it is totally achievable. So the way that I managed to figure this out was going to an event or going to a place where there are like-minded people, or people who are more like who have the highest odds of having a like-minded spirit. In my case, it happened to be a magic convention, and I don't mean like magic as in sleight of hand. Um, that makes sense. Okay. But yeah, I say find some like-minded people if you can, be it an online meetup or something, or ideally something in person, and something that may take a little bit of time, like a day or two, and allow yourself to experiment with the feeling of who your best selves, the best manifestation of the selves that you want to have could be. And then once you have the vision, you let it be, and then you be in that present moment with the people that you have. I mean, especially if you're in a setting where they emphasize spiritual safety or mutual safety, or in the case of this one convention that we went to, they emphasized the principles of Xenia, the principles of Xenia, of welcome, of the proper modes of welcoming in a stranger or welcoming in the deities. That makes it a lot easier. Ooh, theater plays. That sounds fun, and that is a perfect way to start. Because I mean, you get to talk with people, especially if you pick something that allows you to have a conversation or some drinks after the show. Even better, because then you can like chat with the cast or chat with like whoever has been in the show with you, and you can like chat about what you think about what's going to happen or how you feel about these certain performances, etc. Yeah, I always like the talkback theater shows in particular, because then I can actually ask questions about like how certain things in the show work. I am such a nerd, but you know what? I'm a lovely nerd. Which, case in point, we got the Queen of Wands. Yeah, find small ways to like bring that world back into your life. Um, Even if it's in some small way. Like, again, shout out to Evelyn Rose. Um, she pushed me to go to this convention this weekend, and I'm glad I did, because I feel like there's so much more I can tell you guys now compared to last week where I felt like I was just talking out of my but yeah, finding a space where you could like, you feel like you're loved for you, or just you can just be there even if you're not the main character or the main presenter, etc. But you just feel so much in your main character energy. That's so important. And you know, the ironic thing is that there really wasn't that many event tech stuff going on, ironically enough. Like, it would be an ideal event tech scenario, yet there wasn't that much going on. So I think I think that's the other reason why it was so easy to turn my mind off for 4 days. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, yeah, finding your paradise or paradises, because let's be for real, we're humans, we contain multitudes. Find a place where you can feel safe really makes a huge difference. But yeah, getting back to Queen of Wands here. Queen of Wands, I mean, the wands, especially the court cards, I tend to associate with crafts. And Queen of Wands, I mean, the harp was the thing that drew me in first, as well as the foxes and the bottom being in the audience. I feel like it's called for you to start looking at yourself as a star in your own life, like switching the perspective, taking on the hanged man lens in your life. That rather than a hyper focus on like the things that are happening to you, instead figuring out how you can apply the things you've learned up to this point to the circumstances you have in front of you. Might sound like a dramatic mentality change, but yes, that's correct. Yeah, according to this deck and a lot of esoteric schools, fire tends to be wands. Ultimately, depends on what magical tradition you come from. That I learned from Christopher Penzak. Apparently, there are some people who look at swords as fire, which kind of makes sense with forging. But yeah, embracing fire energy, definitely. Like, bringing up your passions is certainly going to be the name of the game here, from what I'm seeing. But let's see what else we got here. I've got 4 cards from the Earth Magic Oracle by Stephen D. Farmer. So let's see what we got with these cards here. Ooh. Okay, I feel like it's tying in with this one, actually, so it's kind of perfect here. So we got Waterfall. So effortless. So learning what your state of flow feels like, that's going to be very important during this period, during this incarnation, which is what I'm already catching. Let's see what else we got in this book. Come on. Get to the page. Thank you. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to go straight to the italicized paragraph in this description, if you don't mind. You've come to the edge of your comfort zone and find yourself fighting to resist moving past the perceived precipice of who you are, how you can be, or what you can do. I feel like this is another way of summarizing what I just said. What? Okay. Anyway. Spirit is asking you to step beyond the edge and allow yourself to do so with ease rather than struggle. Yes, at times physical exertion is necessary, but when performed with fluidity and grace, even when the task seems daunting, you'll find that the movement moves you effortlessly. Approach the present situation or relationship with awareness and grace. Do not try to make it effortless. That just creates more strain. The key word here is to allow. That Hanged Man lens, remember that. Anyway, it's not the time to fight, but to surrender to the will of spirit. Even if you're being asked to let go completely and tumble into the brink of creation itself, you will find the waters there to be ultimately still and calm. Keep your focus on your solar plexus and your breath, breathing through any tension. Relaxing and yielding to the movement that is occurring at any given moment makes your life effortless. Now, effortlessness does not mean perfection. What it is instead is it's the knowing when to craft and when to submit. To borrow a little bit of academic terminology here. Knowing when to surrender. Yes, I believe so. You're on Discord, right? I could probably send you some of my information. But yeah, I feel like, funnily enough, like a lot of the things that you've been talking about have been like, it feels like it's kind of an answer to your question you could possibly experiment with. Yeah, I can totally send you some of my information. So the next one, that is so real, is DNA. I rarely get this one. Karma. And interestingly, I think it's the reason why I'm kind of surprised about this one is because, well, one of the things that I worked with during this convention was the spirit of the serpent and the star goddess. And I know, funnily enough, we just got out of a snake year, and the snake year was very intense for me. And ironically, I'm connecting more with snake energy now that we're actually out of the year of the snake compared to when I was actually in it. That's really funny. Let's make sure that we actually define karma here, which thankfully this book definitely told me this. Karma, a constant in many Eastern religions, is a Sanskrit word implying the greater universal laws of cause and effect, providing an implied code of ethics within the structure of the seemingly endless cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, which is perfect for what you're asking here, which we experience throughout our lives in many different versions. The mistaken notion about karma is that it's some kind of punishment, but it's far from that. In fact, in its purest form, it simply asserts that our conduct in this lifetime will determine our next incarnation. It has also come to mean how our behavior and actions in this lifetime create consequences in a slightly different version of the golden rule. That is funny. That is really funny. And also there's a really good movie called Samsara, which is from the same directors as Baraka. That might be worth looking into. It's a very different kind of movie because it's very atmospheric. It doesn't really have like a straightforward narrative, but the vibe of the film itself is where people tend to comment on a lot. You do! Yeah, I liked Baraka a bit more because there's like a warmth to it that I felt like the film achieved with that one compared to Samsara. But Samsara was it's a really gorgeous film. I still liked it. Barack Obama. No, the film's called Baraka. I think it's another Sanskrit term, but I have to double check. But yeah, it's in the same series of films from the same directors as the film Samsara. It's a little bit like, it's very indie, but it's also very gorgeous. Highly recommend it. I have a videotape of Baraka in my collection downstairs. It's a very beautiful film. Didn't really appreciate it until I was much older. It's like perfect ASMR material. That's hilarious. But yeah, DNA. Here's what it says in the book. Aspects of your soul entered your primitive physical self long before you had begun to take form. While the DNA that you inherited from your biological parents has a physical component, it also has a soul pattern that came together in the creation of you. You are predisposed to follow the karmic dictates of this patterning to some extent, yet as you evolve in your consciousness and expand the light of awareness, you can make choices that shift and modify this ancestral design. This is one of those times. You can feel the tug of your soul as both ancient and karmic, yet you also recognize the persistent and loving communication from your higher self that contradicts the more familiar solutions before you. The choice is up to you, but know that every time you heed the guidance of your higher self, no matter what etheric or physical form it takes, human consciousness is elevated. In a sense, it becomes a choice between destiny and fate. And I don't believe that we're limited to physical lineage, although that certainly is one part of the puzzle. So, I mean, I've noticed that there are some things that my parents have worked through that I have been working through as well, in a very similar grade. And while I don't have the answer to those questions or those things that they've described, I've certainly noticed the patterns within me. So that's one part of it. But I feel like there's also a spiritual lineage too they need to examine, because I mean, my spiritual lineage goes all over the place. I didn't realize how over the place until I went to this convention. So, I mean, I've learned so many things from like Western esoteric traditions and some hoodoo and voodoo and Santeria and Lukumi. I've learned a little bit of that as well. Some curanderismo, some Mexican traditional stuff, as well as even things from Buddhism and Hinduism. All over the place. And like it or not, we're going to have influences from all these different things we've come across. We can't really focus on having this perfect lineage. I mean, even nature is messy. Nature is messy in some respects. I mean, it has a really great design, but also can be messy in some things. So I think it's like a time for you to explore that spiritual lineage, see what it looks like. And you've been interested in those. Okay, so this is the one lady that I learned from as well. She's really cool. Really entertaining as well. Her name is Wendy Mata. She had just recently opened up like some free stuff. She is a curanderismo healer, as well as a bruja. Do you guys get the idea that the Fool is basically on the cards going through a journey? I mean, there's a reason why it's called the Fool's Journey, so I kind of ascribe to that, but it also depends on the context of what I'm reading. I tend to look at it more as, I mean, especially also as well how the cards are illustrated. Because the first deck I had, it was so obvious that that the Fool is the same person all the way through. You see the phases of each person with the manga tarot that I have, by Lo Scarabeo, by Magnetti. It's pretty clear that it's the same character going through this journey. And then other times I tend to look at it more in terms of phases rather than like this is one person going through this certain order. So, long story short, depends on what I'm reading. But most of the time I tend to look at it as phases. And then I look at the minor arcana as not really as minor, but more so the details of that phase that you're in. Exactly. Okay. Got a couple more here, and then Sugar Plums is next. I did notice that she has sent me the question already, so almost done here. Milky Way Perspective. I really like this card, by the way. I like the way they illustrated the galaxy in this. So seeing the bigger picture is very important when you're doing stuff like this. Awesome, you're still here. Thank you. And I got your question. So regardless, you were going to be next, because at least you sent me the question as well. So you were going to get it regardless. Ooh, okay. this paragraph, before we get to the italicized one, really hit me here. Here's what it says. Considered from this perspective, our usual frame of reference is to put to the task. We're faced with the choice of abandoning our myopic vision in favor of seeing and accepting the bigger picture, or we can just allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by a sense of smallness and helplessness. Yet know that we're composed of material from those very stars that inhabit the Milky Way. Thus, we're connected to Earth and the entire universe at all times, in life and in death. Doing a little bit of bibliomancy. Don't mind me. But here's another one that's interesting here. Detachment does not mean that you no longer care. It simply indicates that you are looking at things from a different point of view. It is an outlook that is not clouded by emotions, judgment, or attachment to outcome, but instead maintains a non-reactive awareness of these things. The witness, that internal aspect of yourself that simply observes everything in your life, offers his or her eyes here. Through these lenses of pure awareness, you can examine all aspects of your experiences, physical, emotional, and mental, without denying anything. By doing so, you will come to understand a greater perspective that is typically justified by the ego, which allows you to see what is before you with clear vision and an open mind. Yeah. Have you ever read the Bhagavad Gita, or at least heard of it? That entire story is very much about surrendering the outcome. Because, I mean, you can have all these ideas, and yet the biggest thing that causes our pain is not necessarily the pursuit to get there, though that could certainly be painful by itself, like just the work to get there, but more so the pressure that we put on ourselves to have this one fixed outcome. That gets exhausting rather quickly. I got an ad break in a little bit, so gonna see how much I can read out here. So that was the other thing that I learned through this experience, right? That, like, through this convention experience, was, for me, it helped me get a bit more solid about what it was that I wanted to embody, at least the essence of it. But then I didn't force too much about how it was actually supposed to go. I focused more on being in that moment and taking each piece of data and magical experience I come across as it comes, and then living it. I didn't force myself to be like, okay, I'm going to be this way and this kind of thing. Like, I had my ideas of how certain things are going to go, because there were a lot of healing workshops and rituals that I went through, but I didn't fix, like, how I was going to react to each thing at that moment, per se. I just took it as the way I would experience it as it came. And I had this feeling I was going to cry in at least one ritual I was going to go through there. But it wasn't the one that I thought it was going to be. It happened literally day 2. It wasn't like full-on weeping, but like I cried. A deep cry I never thought I was ever going to do. It felt like I tapped into something. And for the first time in what felt like decades, I finally was able to see myself the way the divine and my loved ones see me all the time. Yeah, precisely that. Love. That kind of love that, like, it's, like, unconditional. It's like, I am holding you, my dear. That kind of love. Whew! I'm still still processing that. So it's been a week since that happened. But ooh wee. I pray everyone experiences that. Yes, even the aromantics. I want you to feel what it's like to be held like that. Yeah. Yeah, I cried, and it's like, but it felt like a weight was taken off, and I didn't realize like how much I shrank up until that point. So, the Milky Way, I feel like this is a double meaning here. We'll get to this card in a moment, Summer Solstice, which is a really pretty card, by the way. I'm feeling like not only is it about during this lifetime, it's not only a call for you to look at things from a different, much wider, massive perspective, and to know what it's like to flow within and getting to know that spiritual lineage, but also it's a call for you to take up space. Because space is massive. And galaxies, even though they've been around for billions of years, they do expand. And what you need to do is expand your own universe. This goes for anybody who's been feeling very small. Embrace possibility. Expand your space. You can even do this etherically, like imagining that your soul is just taking up space. I mean, you could try it within like whatever safe space you're in right now, or even just feeling like you've expanded outward more. You've expanded your reach just a little bit more. Help yourself feel a little bit more comfortable. Never heard of that author. I'm definitely gonna look that up. But yeah, it's a double call, I feel like. Not only to look at things differently, but also... Yeah. And I'm feeling like rather than like just trying so hard to be like this one thing, gotta allow yourself to expand. Yep, I just saw it. We'll come back. For those who are subbed, thank you. I love you. I know it's a little bit boring, but we will get back. We will get back to it as soon as we can. Just we can get a water break while I'm at it, and I need to take a supplement while I'm at it too. Yeah. Anyways, beautiful people. So, if you're curious about what some of the stuff that I've been doing, I am eventually going to write about it on my Substack, thirdnerd.substack.com. There's just a lot, so much happened during this convention that, whoo-wee, I'm still processing it. I think it might take me about a month. Like, that space felt like something else. What? I know what you're talking about. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But for right now, we gotta finish one card here. We got 30 seconds. Oh, okay. I'll say this though. When you and your friend met, the one who's a professor who wants to learn Sanskrit, at first we were like, if we already know everything, words don't mean anything. Why do we even talk to each other? We end up seeing it as an experiment. The fact that we even talk, embodiment is weird like that sometimes. Yeah, yeah. And even just embodiment in itself, it's an interesting language to think about. And now we have our final card here in terms of our oracle, which is summer solstice. Could be literal, could be just the vibe of the summer solstice itself. But yeah, it's very much, I feel like it's versions of, I feel like this is where you're going to start off here. And then this is what you're going to expand into, is your own personal galaxy. Not necessarily going supernova, let's not combust right now, but it's a call for you to see your inner radiance. And even the paragraph kind of says as much. Let the radiance of the sun inspire your inner radiance to shine forth. Release your concerns about what may happen in the future and focus on appreciating everything that you have that is good and right. Allow Father Sun to take away your worries and cares. Do something physically active to stimulate your inner life. Dance, sing, but most important, get outdoors. Do not let any negative habits or thoughts stop you. When you are in love with life, you naturally radiate that love. During this part of your cycle, your capacity to love is greatly amplified. In one of the supreme ironies of life, the more love you give, the more it returns to you. It starts by allowing the radiant being you truly are to be expressed into the world. Smile a little more. Notice the beauty of nature. See the humor in the paradoxes of life. Show your love, especially to those with whom you are closest. Then smile even more and watch how the world around you lights up. And it's not like, I'm not talking about like masking smiling more. It's more so like the smile that you just, it's just this natural contentment that is just beyond words. And that comes with taking up space as well. Because, I mean, it's this reminder that, like, you are holding so much magic in your hands, and simultaneously, you are being held by that magic as well. So it's like a twofold expansion that's happening here. I'm lucky that I've been able to at least find an example of this kind of expansion that can at least describe it to you. That's the one blessing I will say about going to this convention as well, is I finally have a litmus to tell you what I'm talking about here. Because it is, let me tell you, it is possible. It is totally possible. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been feeling like the energy already feels a lot different compared to past readings. I mean, I haven't been looking at the book as much. I mean, I'm not throwing it away entirely, and even Matt Oren said as much as like you don't have to throw the book away. But simultaneously, you can also rely on your creativity as well when doing this kind of stuff. So that's important. So yeah, long story short, thank you. But yeah, long story short, I'm feeling like, to answer your question overall, and I've been through this for a little bit, it's a call for you to not only get to know what that triumphant feeling feels like, but also to center in said triumph within yourself. To know what it's like to find your inner sun. Not really find your inner sun, embody your inner sun. And the sun, just do what the sun does. You naturally radiate. You naturally shine. So, shine like the star you are, because you are a star. And that's why I call my business Wind Star Shiner. There you go. Hey, Leo North Node, there you go. Become that star in your life. I mean, if my non-Leos, I love you as well. But yeah. The sun just does its thing. So, let your soul be the sun. It's alright to shine. So, hopefully that answered your question, and best of luck. Oh man, that was exciting. I love that. I love the Akashic readings. So like, y'all keep them coming. That was so. These are so much fun. All right, Sugar Plums, you are my next person, and I got your question right here. So mentioned a while ago about Sekhmet. Oh yeah, I remember that. And then you got a film idea. She's in Castlevania Nocturnal? I need to watch that now. Oh my gosh. I've been overdue to watch Castlevania. So that reminds me. You'll be fine. You're fine. I like taking time. Anyway. Love to know what Sekhmet means for you, but also you don't want to abandon your ancestors. Had a dream this morning, but when you woke up, you played a song from Sinners. This movie is where I heard the ancestors for the first time. And you finished your first week of university. Congratulations. What do they have to say? Especially what they have to say in terms of career and goals in the direction you're going in now. And your ancestor revealed itself through the Sinner's character. Annie and Mary, because he had the same identity as each woman. And they are represented as a vampire. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. And again, y'all, watch Sinners. Watch Sinners. Watch Sinners. Especially if you're into vampire lore, watch Sinners. It is such a good movie. Like, I feel like I've watched it only twice, but I feel like every time I watched, like the most times I've watched it, I feel like I got schooled and churched at the same time. I do not know why. But yeah, I feel like I got schooled and churched at the same time. Like, every time I watch that, like, I think about that movie. Especially when, like, when Sammy, Preacher Boy, is summoning the ancestors through his music. Ooh-wee! That's my favorite part of the film. And I have this really massive article that I took way too long in writing that combines Sinners with K-pop Demon Hunters, because like the themes are very similar. I'm taking way too long. I feel like a lot of people have heard their ancestors for the first time in that in that scene. I have the album on my iTunes right now. I mean, I want to listen to it again. And you know, for a good majority of the cast, with the exception of Perlene and Haley Steinfeld, like pretty much everybody, it was for most people it was their debut or like the first time doing music stuff like that. Bruh, Ryan Coogler had better win Best Director. Otherwise, I am protesting. I am so serious right now. Ryan Coogler had better win Best Director. Otherwise, we're going to have some problems. Because, I mean, the last time we had a black director win, it's just been too long. Like, or even been nominated. It's been too long. I don't know why I felt like doing that, but I felt like pulling out some Queen Herbie, because, like, Queen Herbie really likes you. Yeah, and then, especially the BAFTAs, I didn't bother this year, and considering what happened at the BAFTAs this year, it's a good thing I didn't bother, because, oh my god. They had a 2-hour advance block. Why didn't they take out that moment? Two things can be true at once. We gotta end ableism where we see it, and simultaneously, there's some things you just can't tolerate. There's some things you can't tolerate. Like, Tourette's absolutely needs more education. Like, there's some things I actually never even knew about Tourette's syndrome that I learned, albeit in a very unfortunate fashion. Exactly! It's like, marginalized groups often have to just, like, it feels like we have to just take it with grace a lot of the time, and that also goes for disabled people as well. I have to extend that as well to them, because, I mean, especially intersectionality, you gotta think about that. Okay, so context. BAFTAs, basically British equivalent of the Oscars. They record the show. They don't do it live like they do with the Oscars. So they literally had a 2-hour buffer to edit the footage before putting it out there. And unfortunately, the footage they put out for when Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan, two of the actors from Sinners, were announcing a category, one of the nominees, who is a big Tourette's syndrome advocate in Scotland, unfortunately, one of his I just forgot the term for it, the term just escaped me, but one of the tics, thank you. One of his tics, unfortunately, is verbal, but in particular, verbal in terms of, like, inappropriate language a lot of the time. And unfortunately, one of the inappropriate tics was a racial slur. And apparently, it wasn't the only time that he used it either. He used the N-word, hard R, on somebody in the audience as well. And unfortunately, the mics caught it while Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan were presenting an award. And the most annoying part is that it stayed in the footage. They literally had a 2-hour delay in the broadcast, and they could have just cut that out, and they didn't. And they also said that they warned the audience that this was probably going to happen, and yet the way Lindo and Jordan reacted, I don't think they were. I'm starting to think they weren't. Yeah, it's like, on the one hand, it's like, this is where it gets frustrating. Because, like, sorry to get all distracted here. I'm going to have to zoom in for a second. It's like, on the one hand, I totally get that there are some things that people can't help. Especially when you have, like, a neurological condition that just makes you do things that you just don't want to do, be it intrusive thoughts or verbalizations. And yet, simultaneously, we can respect human decency of knowing that, like, somebody got impacted by what you said. And yeah, I agree. And I'm pretty glad that a lot of people have been calling out BBC and BAFTA for their mishandling. Because in the end, I think the guy's name, the Tourette's advocate, was named like John Davidson or something. But very British name. But anyway, like very Scottish name. But long story short, the onus is on the BBC for not editing it and throwing these 3 actors under the bus. They really didn't deserve that. Yeah, and they also censored a guy's speech too, which talked about freedom in every sense of the word and stopping a genocide. That got censored. Thankfully, there were a lot of people on the internet that were able to tell what the last bit of his speech was. Others wouldn't have known. Sorry, I did not mean to get very political here or very passionate here. But in this case, it's my show. I do whatever I want to do. And in this case, it was just so much mishandling. And I feel like, if anything, it has injured so many people in the process. Years of work could have been undone by that one moment. Okay. Got it. Well, Sekhmet's kind of a sensual goddess in a way, so not surprising you've been feeling that way. Let's see what else I can find. Donna Summer! I love her. I've also been watching a lot of Michael Jackson. Watching a lot of Michael Jackson footage. The man knew stagecraft. Like, there was this really cool clip of when he was performing in the Bad Era tour, and at one point he's performing, I think, Off the Wall. That's what it was. He was performing Off the Wall, and there's this part where he, gets the mic off the stand, but the mic wasn't coming off the stand. So what he did was, he basically slid it over, pretended it was part of the act for a second, and then manages to slide it off finally. The stand's knocking back and forth, and he does, a dance, a rhythmic dance to it to basically distract, okay, this wasn't supposed to happen. But it looked so natural, you wouldn't be able to tell that was a mistake. Bruh, I know, perfectionism can get toxic sometimes, but, can I get to that point of mastery, please? I could post the clip in the memes section if anybody's curious, but oh my goodness. Then again, who am I to compare? The man had basically his entire life on that stage. Rest in peace to a legend, to a goat. But man, I want to be like Mike. That's one thing I was unfortunate to be born in the wrong time. What sometimes feels like the wrong time period sometimes. But I have been lucky enough, at least I've been able to watch him live, albeit via TV. I watched the Madison Square Garden concerts when I was a kid. And one of my friends, actually, her mom was a reporter. Her mom was a reporter for Action News. So she got, exclusive tickets to go there for that entire weekend. Yeah, he radiates Pisces, even though he's a Virgo. It's so interesting. That man just had creativity and innovation running through his veins. Whew. Rest in peace to a legend. Maybe. I'm gonna have to look up his chart afterwards. Anyway, Sugar Plums. Here's what I got for you. Or Neptune. That was true. So, Sugar Plums, here's what I got for you. Yeah, I'm feeling like Sekhmet is very much bringing in the fire energy. Because, I mean, the song that I got for you for this time is Farewell, which has the line, Outgrew my shell, now I want to grow some wings. And I feel like your ideas are expanding. Oh my god, Pisces rising and moon, that explains so much. Bruh, now I want to look this up. Y'all are tempting me. Okay. I don't usually look at celeb charts, but I just like this one I really want to see. Yeah, I mean, I think it's because like nowadays, because like because I think thanks to like TikTok and other stuff, like I kind of feel like astrology now kind of feels like it's somebody's social security number. So I don't do it too often, but I'm kind of I'm kind of curious. But yeah, getting back to your reading, my friend, for Sugar Plums. The opening kind of reminds me of Reflection a little bit, like the opening of the song, because I mean, the opening lyrics really make me think of that. And Mulan's one of my favorite Disney films, so I can easily say that, but like, the opening of this track made me think of that. Let me just mute for a second for my audio capture, and I can take a listen to the song real quick, because I want to get a better vibe. This thing. Oh yeah, I remember this song. I listened to this not that long ago, actually. Hmm. Yeah, I remember this song now. Okay, I didn't. I listened to it not that long ago, so now I remember what it is. So basically, I'm feeling like the biggest message I'm getting from this song and from your ancestors is you shouldn't rely too much on external, um, external affirmation, and more importantly, to validation. Thank you. External validation. That was the word. Get to that hour for me. Anyway, I'm feeling like Sekhmet and even the scene from Sinners has kind of come into your life, to help you remember that you can you can outgrow whatever shell that you might have felt you had to stick yourself into for safety, and you're about to get into a new phase of life. And they're going to teach you, especially Sekhmet in particular, that she's going to teach you how to remember your worth. And it's going to be it's going to be a bit of a farewell of aspects of yourself that maybe helped you, it might have helped you be protected, but the protection kind of turned into more smothering rather than just making sure you're not banged around by the universe. So you may be having a little bit of a phoenix moment in a little bit where you need to start shedding off some habits or perspectives that that might have made you go small. But you're gonna find that it'll serve you all the better for it. Let me keep going here. Let me get the music back. Thank you very much for your patience. Anyways, other cards that I got here for you. Huh. I think I've pulled this for you before. The Page of Pentacles. Definitely pulled this for you. And then the Three of Wands. So, Page of Pentacles. I feel like it's an affirmation. Since you've been through your first week, especially, of the university, it's for you to keep being open to the knowledge that you are going to encounter during this semester. Because that knowledge is going to carry you through in defining what ideas that you will develop during this year, and it'll be the foundation of what you're developing from this point onward. And then the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands, again, I mean, I pulled this earlier. I pulled this earlier tonight, but this is for a different context from what I'm getting. What I'm getting called for with the Three of Wands is more so of, it's a call for you to look out and expand your horizons. And more importantly, and this is something I've been looking at as well personally, look at the things that are inspiring you. What archetypes are you being called to embrace at this time? I'm doing a little bit of archetypal work myself recently, and so I think it's important to pay attention to what aspects of your heroes, what aspects of your muses, what aspects of your inspiration, what really gets you going. And study it. Like for me, like right now it's funnily enough, I'm back in my Michael Jackson phase right now. I know Renzi is going to be having a field day with that one once she finds out, because I mean, I couldn't pick up his stuff for a while. But the fact that I'm picking up his stuff again after this year will make it a decade. Beyonce and Rihanna and Riri. But yeah. The fact that this June will make it a decade since we lost the King of Pop. And I'm starting to come back to him now after a cycle. But yeah, that's my advice to you. I'm feeling at this time is it's a call for you to tap back into that inspiration. I feel like Sinners especially seems to be a massive one right now for you. And I find it interesting that Castlevania Nocturne put in deities as like some of them as vampires as well. I say do a mixture of studying the mediums, the people, and the things that really inspire you. And then also, more importantly, study yourself. Study your lineage. Study the reasons why you find that exciting. And see how you can transmit it towards the work that you're doing. Ooh, Pinterest boards. Love making boards. I haven't used Pinterest in a hot minute, but I do make vision boards nowadays. Some people might not find that they work, but I think it's down to just what technique works for you. For some, it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of deal. For me, it's very much this sense of like I need it kind of running in the background a little bit for it to really stick, as well as putting in some divine inspiration. Like my last vision board that I did, I decided to stick an angel in the images. That was one thing that I did very differently compared to my previous ones. I want to put some divine inspiration, and like by the end of that year, 80% of the vision board was complete. 80% of it was done. You just found what works for you, and I think clearly you found something that works for you. But yeah. Cleanse your altar. That's the song that I found for you with this one, and it is from, I mean, she has like a house system kind of akin to Hogwarts, but very different. This is from the Tiger House, which is about confidence and self-discovery. And then you got Dream today. That's wonderful. Yeah, I think the universe is very much responding to what you're intending. So just keep, other things I could tell you. Keep note taking. Something even the most minor thing could tell you a lot about where you can go next. Let me get you one more card here. Let me see what else I can tell you. Take notes. Oops. Case in point, Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, I consider this the last push towards victory. That kind of card. Like, you've got this energy, you got this idea that you want to manifest, you want to bring it through, and you are so close. You are so close to a massive revelation, I'm feeling. So, keep at it. Note down that dream. Note down that song. Pay attention to what it's telling you, because music tells a lot. That's why I pull these Queen Herbie cards as well, because like, if the cards, their message doesn't make any sense, music absolutely does. Even if you don't understand the lyrics, music absolutely does. There you go. There you go. Music is a superpower. I'm telling you, it's a universal language. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a little bit of a place to start, because ultimately, your relationship with the divine is going to be very different from what I have with the divine, or somebody else's relationship with the divine. It manifests in very different ways. Exactly. Of course, there's some people who can't read it, so there's that. But, I mean, I think even MJ, I don't think he read sheet music. But he beatboxed enough that he knew how to beatbox, and I think he knew how to play the piano enough that he could actually describe what he was talking about. And playing by ear, too. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, Sugar Plums. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to keep going for a little bit, because I got a couple people left on the queue. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question a little bit. If you need any more information, feel free to DM me if you need more details. But yeah, last person on the Twitch side, we've got Vanna Not White. You are next, my friend. Gonna take a little bit of an ad break. Oh, okay. But yeah, hopefully Sugar Plums that answered your question. At least it gives you a thing to start with. No, you haven't. But I'm saying, like, I'm hoping that, like, maybe it gives you a starting point to explore what is your personal language of the universe, and also help you find some inspiration when it comes to your story that you want to write. So I'm going to take a little bit of an ad break. So Vanna Not White, please go ahead and describe your question. We're taking a little bit of a break for just a moment, and so we will come back. We will come back with Vanna White's question. You are welcome, Sugar Plums. All right, we'll be back. All right, and for my YouTube audience, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been here up until this point, thank you. Shiva Lim, we will get to your question in just a moment. Hopefully, it will give you an answer as to what you're looking for. But yeah, in terms of anybody else who has been tuning in, here's where you can find me in terms of stuff that I do. I've got Twitch, I've got Discord, I've got Blue Sky, I've got YouTube. These streams are getting backed up on my YouTube channel right now, but eventually I want to transition these live streams towards my second YouTube channel, Theological Otaku, as well as Substack. And if you want a more one-on-one page for this kind of stuff, feel free to check me out on coffee.com/Tonders, because I do one-on-one stuff all the time. So, and oh yeah, I still have the New Year special on there, which I'll give it until tomorrow to keep it up. Anyway, our Twitch people they are back. They're going to be back in about a few seconds. So we will answer Vanna White's question in just a moment. Thank you. Okay. Is the guy you're seeing threatened by the fact I'm taking up a sport? Weird question. But yeah. Yeah, I don't really do third party reads, per se. I tend to like redirect it towards either a circumstance maybe like both of you are going through, or kind of a redirect of a question. But yeah, like if I look at it as a third, like if I see it as like a third part, like if I see it as like looking at a third party directly, I feel like I'm the least accurate when I do that. Versus if I look at it in terms of like a situational awareness, like an overall big picture kind of deal, that makes it a little easier. So to clarify, it's not in terms of like self-blame, because I know it's a tendency to feel that way when it comes to it tends to be. I am so sorry. I don't know what my brain's doing right now. Yeah, if you feel comfortable or safe enough to ask the person outright, you often will get the better answer compared to me pulling for you. But what I can do is what I can do for the most part, Vanna White, is maybe looking at the circumstances to see if there is a tension around going through, a tension around, not tension, oh my god, attention, but a tension about you going through a sport and seeing how to navigate through that tension. But yeah, I can go for more circumstantial stuff. Because, I mean, presuming what somebody's thinking, it never sat, I mean, even with me being intuitive, it just never sat well with me, because that person could still, change their mind, and that's I feel like I'm robbing them of their free will. Which I know, like, depending on which community you ask, definition of free will is kind of arbitrary to a certain extent, but yeah, that's something even I'm kind of grappling with. And I know like free will is a very in some ways, it sounds like a very Abrahamic concept, but I feel like some variation of that concept exists in every um, every philosophical and spiritual orientation. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that's what we got here. Let's see how we can navigate this. Okay, come on, flip. Huh. The Wheel of Fortune again. So, I'm feeling already is giving your partner some time to adjust. Because this is, I mean, doing activities, it's an exchange of energy and time. Not only in terms of how you do your quality time, but also how much time you spend with other people. And what I'm feeling is, I mean, again, the Wheel of Fortune, the message I often get with the Wheel of Fortune is the sense of like, this too shall pass. And I think eventually it may turn into an opportunity of possible growth in the relationship, that it could give you a confidence to figure out how it is you want to navigate the relationship itself, but also to be able to speak up for and advocate for what it is that you want within some relationship. I see. Yeah, I think like awareness is going to be the key factor here, because the fact that like he criticized you for doing the same thing even though he's doing it himself, that already is kind of calling for a wake-up call. I mean, Hyun, I don't think it was really about like a distrust per se, but more so they weren't seeing eye to eye for that one moment. And I don't think he caught especially, I mean, for what I'm feeling, it's like I don't think he really caught like how hypocritical it was until I think basically you had to point it out. Oh boy, but I mean, it could happen in any relationship. But that being said, it is upset. There's a reason why there's a trend on upset heteros. But that said, yeah, sometimes you're speaking in different languages, and I feel like there is going to be a resolution to this, so I wouldn't stress out a bit too much, Vanna. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so we got the King of Wands, and then... Okay, interesting. Okay. So, we got the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, so I feel like for that moment that I think you had the disagreement about sports, I think it might... Hyun, don't beat yourself up. Text comes out cold. Don't beat yourself up. No. I think you said something important. I think it just didn't apply to this situation is all. Don't beat yourself up. No. Don't worry. Anyway. But anyways, King of Wands and Queen of Pentacles, I feel like it's you and your partner. And I think it very much came across as you two speaking different languages. Because the Pentacles are very much about, like, sustenance. In terms of the physical, material plane. And... okay, yeah, sorry. I often surprise myself sometimes when I do these pulls. And then King of Wands, it's very much about, like, power within one's domain, especially one's power of passion, etc. And... okay. I'm not going to assume anything. But from the vibe I'm getting here, the other reason that I can really feel in terms of the possible discomfort with sports is maybe it's a little bit of a territorial feeling, like it's kind of like a crossing into his domain a little bit, since it seems like that's one of his passions too. But but what I'm feeling is that you got into sports for a different reason than how he got into sports. And I think eventually what he will understand once I feel like communication is going to be the key thing here. I mean, it's a key thing for any relationships, but especially this one, is I think once you're able to find some vocabulary that can help him see eye to eye a bit more, I think he's going to understand eventually that sports is not a territorial thing. I mean, there's a T in sports for a reason, because I mean, the big thing is teamwork. There is a you and I in community. There may not be an I in team, but there's an I in community. Ah, there you go. Yeah, very different reason, I'm feeling like. So, I think once he understands your motivation, I think things are going to turn around here. And I think especially if you focus on the nurturing aspects of the sport you're getting into, that'll take you so far when it comes to your performance. Because sports is a very ritualistic thing, if you think about it. Like, I mean, we have and it's not limited to, like, the good luck stuff. It's also, it's also in the rules. It's also in the game itself, how people come together, how people are expected to negotiate. Sports are a ritual. And I'm feeling like this is a good opportunity for you to find out about the ritual aspect. And I think especially if you're able to, like, mutually support each other, be it maybe attending a game or two, or just exchanging tips or training. I feel like, if anything, it's a good opportunity for you two to come closer together. Yeah, out of curiosity, what kind of sports are you doing? Oh, that's cool. Muay Thai? Yeah, I'm thinking once I get back some strength, I want to get back to martial arts again. I mean, not that I haven't been already. I just started doing, like, this self-defense course, like, just last week, but yeah, that's so cool, honestly. And you're Thai too. That is amazing. But yeah, I did Aikido for 13 years. So, yeah, the martial arts life is something else. And if anything, it's a good practical skill, too, for self-defense. Yeah, I left before I got to, like, the black belt test, but I want to get back to the martial arts world in some way. Because, I mean, like, I kind of realized, especially after I started practicing with a friend who's actually about the same rank that I, like, the same rank as I was when I left the art. Um, the martial arts world never really completely leaves you, even when you leave it. Like, I even would still do the stretches from that from time to time. I mean, I'm not as flexible as I used to be. I'm slowly getting that back through starting up yoga again. But yeah, the moment I started doing the self-defense class again, like we just basically started off as like a meetup group where we would just exchange tips on how to navigate certain situations. I felt, even though it had been, now at this point it's been like 15 years since I've been on the mat, I've been off it longer than I've been on. It's like I never left. That's cool. Yeah, Muay Thai is starting to pick up here in the United States. So it's pretty cool that like more people are starting to practice it more. But yeah, I say keep going. I think it's gonna help you a ton, not only in terms of your confidence, but also, yeah, again, I think it's gonna really, I think all the cultural education and the self-defense practical stuff and just overall it's going to be good for you. So I say keep going with it. And I think eventually he'll come around. I also wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of like concern for your well-being as well. Because I mean, Muay Thai is it's a pretty intense art. Not only in terms of the, like, I mean, funny I mentioned ritual as well, because I mean, even the opening of how you're supposed to start a match is very ritualized in Muay Thai. So yeah, I'd say keep going. See what happens. Because that's really cool, honestly. Muay Thai is really cool. So, Shiva Lim on the YouTube side of things, I don't know if she's still online, but I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up for her. Because, I mean, do you want to do a little bit of check-in on her relationship with Akash? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Shiva Lim is one of the few YouTube regulars, that I've had, so I really appreciate that you've been tuning in. And like I've said, quite a lot on this channel. If you've been here for a while or you've just been here, thank you so much for joining in. You are always welcome. Whether you are a rich nerd or a poor nerd, you are always welcome in my table. And I really appreciate you. Okay. And you're welcome, Van Out White, for that. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, so in terms of Shiva Lim, if she happens to still be online, here's what I got for you. So we got the Four of Pentacles, King of Cups, and the Five of Cups, and well, I think it might be time to take the pressure off, because especially with the way the Four of Pentacles tends to be illustrated, it's a very, very clingy dragon. Very much about like holding tight to a certain concept. And I think about the Sade song, Hang On to Your Love. But I'm also feeling a warning of like, don't cling too strongly or to like a certain image or a certain way that it has to be, because then it's more likely to make that connection run away from you rather than keep it going. So the biggest piece of advice I'm getting here is just don't cling too tightly. Make sure you give yourself and your partner enough breathing room to navigate whatever the situation is. And then King of Cups. I'm feeling like the person you're asking about is a very emotionally intelligent person who understands what it is that he wants in your life. So I say keep in touch, but also, much like the Bhagavad Gita, release the outcome. Surrender the outcome. Because whatever will be, will be. And especially with the Five of Cups, I tend to focus on especially the circular looping of like getting so stuck in a certain mindset that you're forgetting of like who's been reaching out to you for that connection, for that confidence, for that comfort, for who's been there in your life up until this point. And getting so mired in regret and loss that you're forgetting about all the wonderful, beautiful things that happen in front of you right now. So, unfortunately, Shiva Lim, I don't know if you're still online, so I don't know if I can ask or not, but like, I don't know how long you and Akash have been together, let alone if you've actually interacted with this person. But if you have interacted with this person, I think it's okay to be a bit more vulnerable with him and express what it is that you need to express. Because I think the guarding it's hurting you more than it's helping you. And if it's somebody that is more on the fresher side of things, or you've never interacted with this person, hi, how are you will suffice. At least have an interaction with them. Let yourself take a risk. Don't clutch your cards to the point you're bending them and then become unplayable. Open up. It's okay. So hopefully, Shiva Lim, that answers your question. And with that, I'm going to give one last song for the collective here. A little bit of a Queen Herbie prescription for the collective. And I'm not going to tell you what the song is about, per se, as much as it's a call for you, a little bit of augury for you guys. As we are stepping into March in about 30 minutes, what is it that you need to carry in to this new month? And we got wifey. Speak to me kindly. And I'll leave it at that. All right. So we're going to do a nice, proper closure. I want to thank all of the wonderful audience members for tuning in. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful support to me and to each other, especially. Thank you to all of the energies and the helpers and the spirits for supporting us tonight with all of the insights that we get to carry with us through this next week. And may our strength, may our intuition, may our wisdom, may our helpers continue to sustain us and help us out. And as we release this session tonight, May y'all remember the bonds that we have forged here. And may we respect our energetic fields and boundaries. As my energy stays with me, your energy stays with you. And so it is. Whew. Yeah. Y'all felt that, right? Yeah, I felt something release right there. I hope y'all felt that too, because, ooh-wee, that was wonderful. Honestly, seriously, thank you so much. Y'all are wonderful. Shout out to Sleepy Incubus for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. Shout out to just everybody who tuned in for a reading tonight. This was so much fun and really insightful. For those who are curious about my convention experience, I will write about it more pretty soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will do more Dandara Trials of Fear edition in honor of Women's History Month this time. So it's not the end of Dandara just yet, but we are getting pretty close to the conclusion, especially with the thing that we recently discovered last night. So it's going to be really, really fun playthrough. Hope y'all will join me on that one. I also have restarted Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, and I was supposed to play Destiny 1 tonight, but I think I'm going to save it for tomorrow when I have just a bit more energy. Hope y'all understand. Also, I think Fatal Frame 2 Remake is coming out this month, so I'm going to see if I can get through a bit more of Fatal Frame 1 for you guys before that comes out. So that way at least you all have a little bit of a backstory to think about, as well as maybe touch on a little bit of Fatal Frame 2, so that way y'all can see what the difference is between the OG game and the remake that's coming out pretty soon. And yeah, at some point I definitely need to get back to Sonic as well, because, well, it's 30th birthday this year, so I want to get that going, especially before I go to Japan. And feel free to contribute back to your community. Here's all the charities I've listed back here in the description here. And again, here's some of my social medias in case you want to follow me outside of this channel. I have YouTube, I have Blue Sky, I have Twitch, I have Substack. And feel free, if you want a more one-on-one reading with me, or you just want to donate, feel free to check out ko-fi.com/Tonders. Finally, this episode was filmed on the lands of the Nanticoke and Lenape indigenous peoples. To learn more whose indigenous lands you are living on, as well as if you want to contribute to the project yourself, please feel free to visit native-land.ca. And speaking of, there's one thing I gotta inform you about. So, as y'all know, I recently got accepted to a study abroad program over the summer, and I have been working really, really hard to find ways to supplement my income to be able to make this happen. And I'm going through a little bit of a bind at this point. So, again, anybody wants to do one-on-one readings, the Ko-fi page is always open. Even just a donation is enough for me. But even then, if you can't do anything other than just tuning in, that is enough for me. But yeah, if you have any recommendations in terms of like what kinds of work I could do based on the skills that you've probably seen me on here, be it online or offline, feel free to say what I should try out, because I've had my hands in a lot of pies. I've worn a lot of hats over the years, and yet I admit I've been having a hard time figuring out where to go next career-wise, per se, in terms of saving up enough for the dreams that I have. So if you guys have any suggestions, I'm all ears. But anyways, that's pretty much all I got to tell you. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all have an amazing night, and, as always, from Kingdom Hearts, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye, everybody! And for those on Twitch, stand by for a raid, but for my YouTubers, this is the end of the video. Thank you. Till next time, I'll see you later.